How often does someone offer you a compliment and you sort of blow it off, blow it away? How often, even though something wonderful is unfolding, you're afraid it's not really going to unfold. You worry that you say the other shoe will drop. And so we think that deliberate thought will solve all of that. But you've got to get enough momentum going. When you announce to yourself or to us or to anyone, I like feeling good, and I'm happy to announce that I mostly do, then you're there. We don't think monitoring thoughts is the most effective way because there are too many moving parts. But caring about how you feel and recognizing emotion in early stages, and then when something feels good, just milk it. How often as children are you just having a high-flying good time and you're milking it and then you get in trouble for being too rambunctious? Or someone always gets hurt, your parents tell you. Someone always gets hurt. And we want to say to you, nobody ever gets hurt when you're on the high-flying disc. What we mean is make peace. What we mean is find vibrational alignment with who you are. What we mean is try to see what is right here and now from your perspective as best you can as Source is seeing it. And we promise you, Source is not warring against what is. You're really going to like this because we said the key words to the understanding of this a few minutes ago when we said what you're really trying to do is through waking up and meditating is put yourself in as best you can this neutral zone early in the day so that who you really are, the vortex that is really who you are, can call you there. And that's what making peace with where you are, making peace with who you are, making peace with what is does. There's no resistance conjured within you as you see the wrongness of that and that I don't want that. In other words, you're just letting go of your resistance as best you can. And in that neutrality that is now your vibration, the vortex can draw you in or you can receive what's there. Now, it feels like a little contradiction as we call it neutrality. Unless what we are really speaking of on this high-flying disc is that neutrality. And in that neutrality, we're talking about absence of resistance. In other words, on this high-flying disc, there is no resistance. There's no pushing against anything. If you have no resistance within you. Now, when you are in passion, is there no resistance? We say yes. High-flying disc, no resistance, lots of momentum. If you are in a state of love, are you on the high-flying disc? Yes. Is there resistance? No. High-flying disc, no resistance, you see. Making peace with it. Practice, making, we could even say, get up in the morning, make peace with your day. Make peace with your pillow. Make peace with your bed. Make peace with your family. Make peace with your world. Make peace with your body. In other words, appreciate as best you can. And watch what happens. Whatever it takes. Whatever it takes. On one day it might be one thing. On another day it might be another thing. You don't want to do the same thing every single day. You don't even want to take the same walk on the same trail every single day. You don't want to run into the same people every single day. You don't want to have lunch with the same person every single day. You are expanding beings. You're reaching for more. There's so much in your vortex that is calling you. And we just want you to find some way to put yourself in this neutral place where that can call you. Because we promise you, if you wake up and you can maintain this neutral vibration, that vibration will call you. That's the path that will call you. Wherever your vibration is, that's the path that will call you, you see. What you want to show yourself is that you can control the direction of your thoughts. And until you show yourself that, do you accept that you create your own reality? We'll just throw that out to you. Conceptually, most of you who are coming to these gatherings would say yes. So then we say, if you accept that you create your own reality, do you accept that you do it through your vibrational offering? And if you accept that you create your own reality and that you do it through your vibrational offering, then you must understand that your vibrational offering is what you're thinking about. And the only way that you're going to know how you're doing is by caring about how you feel. So if you wake up with the intention of feeling as good as you can feel for as long as you can feel it. Some of you want to get out and take a walk. There's a really good reason that you want to do that. You've found that you feel better when you do that. You found that your body likes that. You feel that you're more lighthearted and you feel more upliftment. In other words, you gravitate naturally toward the things that feel good. Just gravitate toward the things that feel good on purpose for a little while. Pamper yourself. Pamper yourself with a good night's sleep. Pamper yourself with thoughts that feel good. Pamper yourself with deep breathing. Pamper yourself with plenty of water. Pamper yourself with getting outside and moving your body. Pamper yourself into alignment with who you really are, and then face your day. Then think about the things that the world is dealing with, and notice how different thoughts are coming to you from that vibrational vantage point than from that complaining, don't want to get out of bed vibrational vantage point that you may have been experiencing. The best thing that happens by deliberately deciding to get on this high-flying disc and accomplishing it, and doing it repeatedly for a few days, is that then as the manifestations that match that frequency show up in your experience, you make the correlation between them. You feel your part, your deliberate part, in the achieving of that particular rendezvous, with that particular situation, with that particular conversation, with that particular outcome. In the early days when Esther was just coming to understand deliberate creation, and we were talking a lot about focus and thinking on purpose, and something wonderful would happen and Esther would announce so happily and loudly, I did that. I did that. I did that with my focus. And in the same way, when something unwanted would happen, she'd say, a little quieter, I did that too. Because there's something wonderful about recognizing how you're feeling and therefore knowing what disc you're on, so it's not a shock or a surprise at who you're rendezvousing with or what you're rendezvousing with. And it's the first step really in owning that you are the creator of your own reality. Because until you stop blaming that one for the way he made you feel or that one for the way something evolved, and you take responsibility for your vibrational frequency, then you don't have a chance. You can't be a deliberate creator as long as you're giving one other person the credit or the blame for the good or bad things that are happening to you. So, if you accept that you are the creator of your own reality, and that the reason that you are the creator of your own reality is because you're offering a vibration, and if you are now acknowledging that you have the ability to control the vibration that you're offering, now you are invincible. Now there is nothing that you cannot be or do or have. Here's an easier way to look at it. So let's say that there are things wanted and unwanted, yeah? And that there is a path of least resistance to things wanted and unwanted, because you've practiced it into being. If you've thought about what you want, you've created a path of least resistance, an easy path to what you want. And if you've thought about what you don't want, you've created a path of least resistance to what you don't want. So the path of least resistance toward what you don't want is the introducing of resistance to what you do want. It might even be easier for you to just say, what path am I on? And you can tell by the way you feel. Because there are endless tributaries. Sometimes you want a fast ride, sometimes you want a slow and savory ride. But one thing's sure, you want to move toward what you want all the time. And when you feel negative emotion, you've slowed what you do want down. And if you keep it up, you're on a path toward something you don't want. So yeah, we think it would be really a good idea to care about those paths and that momentum. If you wake up in the morning and you focus upon something that feels good to you, and you ponder it long enough that you begin to feel a little enthusiasm for it, then it's unlikely that something's going to bump you off that path easily. And by the time you're at day 30, it would take something, a really deep issue, a really hot spot, in order to dislodge you from your positive momentum. But it's a little awkward for us to talk about that 30-day momentum if you're just now beginning it, because In the beginning, it feels harder to do. After you've done it for a while, it feels easy to do, and you ask yourself, I don't know why I wasn't doing this before. This might help. Once you find yourself on that high-flying disc, and you sustain it for a little while, like 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 minutes, the first thing that makes you know, in fact, let's call it a manifestation. The first manifestation that lets you know you're there is emotion. You just feel good. Emotion is a manifestation. And the second thing, and we're going to call it a manifestation too, just for sake of this understanding, this discussion, is thoughts begin to stream into your mind that match it. In other words, you start remembering things that you felt good about. You start remembering things that people have said. Her mind is full of poignant things that Jerry said at some point, or that her mother said at some point, or that some teacher said at some point. Once she gets on that high-flying disc, it's like every wise person things from the Bible, things that she remembers from those early days in Sunday school. In other words, all kinds of things that match that high frequency begin to flood into your mind just to support and compound this vibrational frequency. And those are the beginnings of the bigger manifestations that are coming. This is the process that we would we would make work out of it, focus on. When we go to bed the night before, we would acknowledge that, hey, while I sleep tonight, my momentum is going to stop. My point of attraction is going to cease. And so when I wake in the morning, I have a clean slate. I can push the reset button. I can start my momentum where I want it to be and just build it from there. And so when I wake up, I'm going to find something nice to think about, and I'm just going to focus there as best I can until I get some momentum going. So let's say you've been doing that for a little while. Well, sometimes the thoughts of what you don't want creep in. That's all right. Just be easy about it. Say nice things to yourself about that. Well, this is my first day, and I'm doing really well at this, and I'll get better every day, and by the time I get to 30 days, it will be easier. In other words, talk to yourself in positive terms in the way that you would want to mentor anyone who is trying something new and not very good at it.